toxic masculinity.
Hunter Biden used Air Force One and Air Force Two at least 23 times. All right, you remember that there was some criticism of Hunter Biden flying on Air Force Two with his father Joe Biden to go to China, right? This is obviously part of the reason why people thought there was some kind of conflict of interest there. But I mean, obviously, it's far, far worse than a conflict of interest. We're talking about, most likely. Well, okay, okay. The reason I'm saying most likely is because I'm on YouTube and I don't want them to go, "Oh, this is disinformation," right? Like they did about, COVID being, having been released from the Wuhan lab. Oh, it's disinformation. We got to delete this video. You know what they're like? They got a friggin' hair trigger. They'll just delete you, like that. But let's say most likely, or at least I think it's likely, that Hunter Biden was taking bribes for his father. Okay, this seems like the most likely scenario to me in the case of Hunter Biden in Ukraine and Hunter Biden in China. And, they kept on saying, Joe Biden kept on saying, "No, I don't know anything about my son's work. I don't know anything about it. Totally separate. I just talked to him about personal stuff, like, smoking crack and stuff like that. I don't talk to him about, his business dealings. Oh, I don't have nothing to do with that." Okay, well, we've just discovered, thanks to, I think it was Tom Fitton who found all this stuff. We just discovered that Hunter was flying around with his dad, Joe, on these government airplanes, these executive airplanes, jets, obviously, 23 times, 23 flights. It says here, 411 trips across 29 countries between 2009 and 2014, right, when Joe Biden was vice president. So let's go ahead and read the headline here from Breitbart. It says, breaking the news, not breaking news, breaking the news. I guess that's the name of the organization that broke this story, breaking the news. Okay. Reveals. Secret Service records show that Hunter Biden took at least 23 flights through Joint Base Andrews, home of Air Force One and Air Force Two. According to this, oh, hey, the wife is home. It doesn't look like she's coming onto the show. We've got packages. Do you have a letter for me from Mom and Dad? Do you have a letter for me from Mom and Dad? All right, I guess look out for it tomorrow, I guess. All right, let's see here. According to the Secret Service travel records obtained by Judicial Watch, the then President Joe Biden's son Hunter, took 411 trips across 29 countries between 2009 and the middle of 2014. That includes 23 flights into or out of Joint Base Andrews. Joint Base Andrews. What, isn't it Andrews Air Force Base? Why does it Joint Base Andrews? Why'd they change it? Because it's no longer just the Air Force? Just call it Andrews Air Force Base. Nobody cares, guys. Joint Base Andrews sounds ridiculous. Home to Air Force One and Air Force Two. Oh my gosh. Oh, hello, beautiful woman. And cat. All right, let's do this. So, where were we? All right. These trips, which shed light on Hunter's involvement with his father, are revealed in Breaking the News. Oh, so this is a book, right? This is from a book by Alex Marlowe, who I think is the editor-in-chief of Breitbart, right? Yeah. Okay. So you can buy that book. It seems like a good book. I probably won't buy it. I shouldn't say that, but I'm not good at reading. I have a pile of books that I'm trying to get through already, so I can't afford the time. But it seems like a good book. If you like reading, I would probably recommend it. Let's see here. My new book, Exploring the Corruption That Drove the Establishment Media, I think, to cover up the Hunter Biden scandal. Despite this evidence that there was not an absolute wall between Hunter and Joe when it comes to business endeavors, the establishment press has shown little interest in exploring whether Hunter was actually leveraging his father's power to enrich himself. But I think it's worse than that. I mean, see, the reason Republicans always say this, that Hunter was using, his father's name to enrich himself, which I don't actually think that is a criminal act or even necessarily particularly unethical. People do that basically all the time. the reason that they don't go as far as I do and say that what it looks like to me is that he was taking bribes on behalf of his father is because unless you can actually show that and have Joe Biden tried for that in a court of law and convicted for it, I think probably some people consider it irresponsible to claim that. And that's also, I think, part of the reason why I don't say it outright that this is exactly what happened, even though it looks like pretty clearly to me that that's what happened. So it's just a matter of being careful about how what you're claiming and all that stuff. But I think these people are being weak. I think we need to claim this because I think that this is what happened. I think that this is what happened. That's what I think. And I think they believe it too. I mean, all signs point to it, right? But people are like afraid to make this claim. Like, how many claims did they make about Donald Trump that were obviously false? I mean, the left doesn't have any qualms about making irresponsible claims about the right. So why do we have qualms about making totally reasonable claims about the left? This is not an irresponsible claim. This is a totally rational, reasonable conclusion to come to if you want to speculate about this. I mean, it seems clear as day to me he was taking bribes from his from China and Ukraine and various other places for his father, right? Joe Biden, to me, it looks like, was making policy decisions based on, that were being swayed and influenced based on the amount of money he was getting from various countries for his, through his son, through Hunter Biden. And that's what it looks like's going on here. I mean, why else is Hunter Biden with him on all these flights? Let's see here. In fact, quite the contrary. The New York Times, for example, published a story in 2020 portraying Hunter as a skilled artist who was mastering painting. The article headlined, "There's a new artist in town." The name is Biden. Unironically featuring glossy photos of a relaxed and polished Hunter Biden working away in his studio. The American public has been told consistently that Hunter Biden is as pure as the driven snow. Joe Biden called his son the smartest guy I know. Johnny. Just keep it down just a little bit. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. Okay, there you go. Let's see here. After he said that Hunter Biden's the smartest guy he knows, I was like, we all kind of just laughed at that because Hunter Biden's clearly a moron. But then as I saw Joe Biden carrying on as president and doing whatever the crap he was doing, I just thought, you know what? Maybe Hunter Biden is the smartest guy he knows. I'm not sure Joe Biden knows that many smart people. And that actually got a lot of likes on the Twitter. Dr. Joe Biden, Dr. Jill Biden, who has a doctorate in education, and Joe both expressed confidence that Hunter had done nothing wrong. And of course, Joe and he thought it was all Russian disinformation. And of course, Facebook and Twitter famously censored bombshell reporting by the New York Post. You guys know about that, obviously, on Hunter Biden that has not been proven to be Russian or disinformation. Did anyone of those in the media who supported the suppression of the Hunter Biden email story investigate exactly where Hunter was going on those trips and with whom? Not as far as I can tell. NBC News, Washington Post, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And more, all indulged the Democrat disinformation campaign that protected the Bidens and the dishonest. I mean, okay, so basically the point of this is, and I think, Sweeter, can you take care of that cat? The point of this is that there's really, a double standard with the media. There's a double standard with the Justice Department. There's a double standard with the FBI. There's a double standard with all these entities where if you're a Republican, they'll throw the book at you. They'll investigate you. I mean, look at Donald Trump right now. The state of New York is looking into, in minute detail, everything that Trump's company has ever done to try to find something criminal that they can charge him with so they can try to put him in prison. This is political persecution, right? This is what they do in third world countries. This is what dictators do to try to get rid of their opposition. So this is political persecution. This is not the prosecution of a criminal. This is the persecution of a political enemy. That's all that is. On the other hand, they cover up anything that they deem could get them in trouble, get people on their own side in trouble. Oh, Joe Biden can get in trouble. Let's cover this up. Joe Biden's son could get in trouble. Let's cover it up. Dinesh D'Souza just came out with a great video where he's talking about how they're trying to cover up Cuomo's sins now, right? Cuomo had the massive nursing home scandal, and the Southern District of New York, who's investigating Trump, is also saying that they're investigating. Sorry, I keep getting distracted because my wife is super loud. What are you doing? What are you doing? Oh, I don't understand. Oh, she's getting the cat food out. I don't know why it sounds like a nuclear bomb going off in the house. But anyway, where was I? What the hell was I talking about? I don't know. Oh, yeah, Southern District of New York. So they are essentially, they're saying that they're going to be investigating Andrew Cuomo, but they're not investigating him at all. They're pretending to, but they're really just trying to buy time until, maybe Cuomo can run again and maybe help him get elected. So, right. So there's a double standard with the justice system. There's a double standard with the media. We all know this. This is kind of old news, but these are just more examples for us to get enraged about and to hate Democrats even more for. Which really isn't that funny. But anyway, as I said, this is a very serious story because, and again, it's of course going to be ignored by the mainstream media, but this is just more evidence that Joe Biden and Hunter Biden have been lying all along about what they've been doing together in other countries and exactly what their relationship has been with these other governments. Yeah, Joe Biden, I think, has been taking bribes. Democrats are going to deny that, but that's what I think. Let's move on to the next story. All right. Let's see here. What do I have? Darling, could you be a little louder? That'd be awesome. You are loud. You think you're being quiet. You are not being quiet. Okay, let's see here. Let's see here. What's the next story? All right. Former basketball star makes false claim of racial discrimination. Yeah, this is a very weird story, actually. I don't know this guy because I don't really follow sports. I don't really follow sports at all. But I will say that this is not the most surprising story I've ever read.
Toxic Masculinity. Weekdays, 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific.